Hey everyone, imagine you're sitting with your favorite cup of coffee, and I'm about to spill the tea on a book that literally changed how I think about finding love and making it last. It's called How to Not Die Alone by Logan Yuri, and honestly, it's a game changer. You might think, oh, another love book, but this one is different. Logan, a behavioral scientist who actually worked at Google's Irrational Lab and then became the director of relationship science at Hinge, dives deep into why we struggle with dating, and it turns out it's not really our fault, it's our brains. You see, we often believe that love should be this effortless, spontaneous thing, right? Like, you just fall into it, no thinking required. But Logan says, here's the truth, well, love may be a natural instinct. Dating isn't. We're not born knowing how to pick the right partner, and honestly, our brains are wired to be a little irrational when it comes to decisions, often leading us astray in predictable ways, whether it's about saving for retirement or, well, our love lives. That's where her philosophy of intentional love comes in, urging us to see our love life as a series of choices, not accidents. She really believes that great relationships are built, not discovered. Now, have you ever looked around and wondered, why has everyone found love except me? Logan gets it, and she's identified what she calls the three dating tendencies, which are essentially our dating blind spots. Each one stems from unrealistic expectations, either of ourselves, our partners, or relationships in general. First up, we have the romanticizer. Do you find yourself waiting for that soulmate, the happily ever after, the whole fairy tale? You believe love will just happen when it's meant to happen. Right? Like Maya, one of Loga's clients, who grew up on Disney movies and expected her life to resemble one. She thought love would be effortless, but here's the kicker: the soulmate mindset often leads to rejecting great people because they don't fit a very specific, often superficial vision you have. It also makes you give up when relationships inevitably hit a rough patch because love is supposed to be effortless, right? Logan argues that influences like Disney, rom-coms with their meet-cutes, and even social media's curated perfection reinforce these harmful ideals. She says, fake the spark. That initial rush, it's often anxiety or just someone's charm, and it's not enough to sustain a relationship. The key for romanticizer is to adopt a work it out mindset, understanding that relationships take effort and building success is a process. It's about ditching the instant fireworks for a slow burn. Then there's the maximizer. Are you someone who loves doing endless research, exploring all your options, turning over every single stone before you're confident you've found the right one? Steven, another client, was a classic maximizer, constantly wondering, could I be 5% happier with someone else? This mindset, rooted in the idea of finding the perfect choice, actually leads to anguish, decision delays, and missed opportunities. Logan contrasts this with satisficers, who have standards but stop looking once those standards are met. And guess what? They tend to be happier. Why? Because once you commit, your brain actually helps you rationalize why it was the right choice. She even brings in the secretary problem, a mathematical concept suggesting you only need to explore about 37% of your options before setting a benchmark and then committing to the next person who's better. It's about making a decision with the information you have, rather than being paralyzed by the illusion of endless possibilities. And finally, we have the hesitator. Do you feel like you're not quite ready for dating because you're not yet the perfect catch? Like Shay, Logan's client, who at 35, despite being financially stable and self-aware, had never had a serious girlfriend because he never felt ready. Hesitators are paralyzed by fears of rejection or not being good enough. But here's the truth: you'll never be 100% ready for anything, especially dating. By waiting, you miss out on the crucial reps, the chance to learn what you like, develop your dating skills, and make rookie mistakes now, rather than later. Logan stresses overcoming the intention-action gap. How? Set deadlines. Do some prep work like getting good photos. Tell friends your dating goals to create accountability. And crucially, commit to a new identity as a dater, and a big one for hesitators. And honestly, everyone, stop talking to your ex. Keeping that door open makes it harder to move on, because irreversible decisions actually make us happier in the long run. So now that we understand our blind spots, how do we actually date smarter, especially with apps being the most common way to meet people? Logan explains that apps often trick us into focusing on superficial traits like height or job, because those are easily measurable. This relation framework can lead to choice overload and the Monet effect, where we fill in a rough profile sketch with flattering details, leading to disappointment when we meet in person. Her advice: change your filters on apps to be more open-minded, look for reasons to say yes instead of no, and don't go on too many dates at once. Also, nail your profile photos and write a thoughtful bio that sparks conversation, focusing on what you like rather than what you don't. And please, cut to the chase and meet in person quickly. Great text chemistry doesn't guarantee real-life vibes, but what if you're like Alicia, another client, who felt apps weren't working due to online dating's pervasive racism or simply a desire for a more organic connection? Logan offers strategies for meeting people early in real life. Her event decision matrix helps you choose events that offer both enjoyment and high interaction potential. She also encourages asking friends and family to set you up, providing clear guidance on what you're looking for life partner, not prom date. And don't forget to connect with people you already know. Your person might be hiding in plain sight, like how Logan reevaluated her now husband Scott. And a simple yet powerful tip: introduce yourself to strangers when you're out and about, and put away your headphones. Once you're on a date, Logan pushes us to transform them from job interviews into genuinely fun experiences. She calls this shifting from an evaluated to an experiential mindset. This involves a pre-date ritual to get into the right headspace, choosing a thoughtful time and a sexier place than a well-lit coffee shop. Think candlelit wine bar or sitting side by side on a walk. Opt for a creative activity that provides a third object to talk about or forces collaboration, like a cooking class or a canoe test. Show your effort in planning the date too. Most importantly, play, make jokes, be silly, laugh to release oxytocin and build connection. Skip the small talk and dive into deeper questions or enter in media res in the middle of things. And crucially, be interested, not interesting. Practice support responses that keep the focus on your date, rather than shifting it back to yourself. And after the date, use her post-date 8 questions to focus on how the person made you feel, not just their resume qualities. Now, what about when things get serious, or even when they fall apart? Logan talks about the importance of decide, don't slide. This means making intentional choices about relationship milestones rather than passively slipping into them. This applies to defining the relationship tour and moving in together. Did you know that couples who slide into living together before marriage are actually less satisfied and more likely to divorce? It creates inertia due to the status quo bias. And if you're wondering whether to break up, Logan categorizes us into ditchers who leave too soon, often confusing falling in love with being in love, or being maximizers and hitchers who stay too long, influenced by sunk cost fallacy and loss aversion. She offers a powerful wardrobe test to help you gauge your true feelings about your partner. If your partner were a piece of clothing that you own, what piece of clothing would they be? A scrubby old sweatshirt might tell you it's time to move on. If you do decide to break up, she provides an actionable plan. Record your reasons to steel your resolve later. Make a specific plan when, where, what to say, and how to avoid blaming. Set up social accountability, and for goodness sake, don't have breakup sex. She even suggests a breakup contract to define boundaries and help both parties move on. After a breakup, she helps you reframe it as a gain, not a loss, by focusing on the positives, journaling about the negatives, rediscovering yourself through activities you gave up for your ex, and seeing it as a chance to learn and grow. Finally, for building relationships that last, Logan emphasizes that creating a relationship that can evolve is key. We all change. Hello, end of history illusion, and our relationships need to adapt with us. Her solution? A relationship contract, a living, non-legally binding document that couples create together to outline their shared vision on everything from family and finances to sex and monogamy. And to keep things on track, she recommends a weekly check-in ritual asking 3 simple questions. How was your last week? Did you feel supported by me? How can I support you in the coming week? These tools, she argues, help deal with problems as they rise and ensure consistent relationship tune-ups. Ultimately, Logan's core message is about intentional love in every aspect of our romantic lives. It's about designing your life, holding yourself accountable, being honest about who you are and what you want, and crucially, course correcting when needed. her own story with her husband, Scott, whom she initially swiped left on Tinder and who ended up being her slow burn, is a testament to these principles. So, if you're feeling lost in the dating world, or even in an established relationship, Logan Yuri's How to Not Die Alone offers a roadmap grounded in science and empathy. It empowers you to stop hoping for magic and start building the love story you deserve. It's a powerful reminder that while we can't control everything, we can choose to be intentional, and that makes all the difference.